So what would you say employers should do if they've advertised a role, they've got candidates coming through but they're not quite the candidates that they want, or they know they need to recruit but actually they've not got the ability to commit the time to go through all the CVs and put that time into the process? What are their next steps and what are their options?
I think if you've reached that stage, and that's the space I've been in, very niche roles, where you probably need to partner with somebody, a professional recruiter or a recruitment agency. You need support basically on someone who does this day in, day out. That's their bread and butter. That's probably the next stage left for you to go to, really. I think if you're going to work with someone, pick someone industry related. So if you're going to do catering, go to a catering specialist. If you're going to do legal positions, go to a legal specialist, because they're going to know all the movers and shakers in that arena and that space, and they're going to know the industry terminology. They're going to know what the market's like. They're just going to give you that head start that you desperately need from someone who isn't in that space. Try and go for someone local. I think that way you're going to get local candidates then. I think unless your role is so niche that the specialist agents are only based in the big cities like London, Birmingham, Manchester, that kind of thing. But if you can, try and stick to someone local, because then you'll get local candidates, and that's obviously ideally what you want. I think the best thing you can do, definitely, is then invite them to your office, premises, buildings, campus, whatever, site, and show them round, because you want to, it's a partnership. I think if you're going to go in with the mindset that you're just handing it over to someone else completely and washing your hands of it, you're not going to see the results that you do if you partner with somebody and invest a little bit of time, effort and energy into showing them around your office and your buildings, showing them where the person would work, introducing them to the team of the colleagues people will work with, letting that person really understand what not only the role is like, because obviously they can get that from the job description and talking to you, but also what the company is like, the offices look like, what the parking's like, what the food in the canteen is like, what their colleagues are like, because they're going to go out and speak to people who probably aren't job seeking. So those people are going to be way more cagier about who they speak to, who they give their CV to. And if you're just going to read them an advert, a job description, they're going to put the phone down on you faster than a cold caller. So they're going to want to know all the details that aren't in a job description and an advert. They're going to want to know, what's it like to park? What's the traffic like? What's the team like? What's the career progression like? They're going to ask you all those kinds of questions. So you need to know that as a recruiter. A recruiter's not going to work with a manager who doesn't give them all that information. And the more knowledgeable your recruiting person is, the more passionately they're going to talk about your role, your company. I went to visit this client, the premises are lovely, it's on a beautiful grounds in an estate with a lake, the food in the canteen did the best bacon butties, only takes 10 minutes to commute there, parking's wonderful, so the role is this. And then you brought someone in then, I would go, oh, that person knows what they're talking about. They're not just, because they're going to ask questions like, what's the team progression like? How long have people been there? They're going to ask all those kind of questions. The more your person knows that you partner with, the better. And don't expect volume here. I would work with people and I'd present, 4 or 5 people, and they'd be like, well, is that it? And I'd be like, yeah. I mean, what did you expect? It takes a lot, because there's a lot that goes involved behind the scenes to getting people to open up, to talk to you, to submit their details, to have some time for you. So that's definitely my tips. Invite them to your premises, partner with them, engage with them, be honest. If this is the 4th person in this seat for this year, why? And they'll help challenge you as well. Be open to that. Because they'll give you salary advice, and if you go, oh, I had this advert up and I had no one, the salary is £20,000 and I want this, that and that, and they'll go, yeah, you're not going to get that for that. So they'll be market leaders in that industry sector as well, so they'll give you a load of invaluable advice as well. So that's definitely my top tip for going down that next step.
Fabulous. And shameless plug, obviously if you want access to myself and Shelley to do recruitment, contact @HR. Is there anything else that you think it would be useful for employers to know? I think we've covered a real kind of wide range of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to partner with someone, you know, the honesty is definitely the best way to go, because don't pay someone up front too much money to begin with. I think working on a contingency basis to begin with is always the way to go. But then be mindful that you've got a short shelf life in how long that person's going to work for you, because if it's a no win no fee for them, they're not going to spend 6 to 8 weeks. They're going to move on to a client who takes their feedback on board and doesn't give them, you know, silly requirements for unicorns and tartan paint. So be realistic. So I think that's where the honesty thing comes in. So be mindful of that. You know, you're going to have a short shelf life if you're not partnering with them well. I can't think of anything else really. There's probably loads more, but
That's it.